Welcome to this visit to the Victoria River Roadhouse in the Northern Territory, Australia. I'm no expert because I didn't arrive there till fairly late in the evening. We left in the morning. We're traveling from Kununurra with about 400 km at an average speed of 70 kilometers an hour with our large caravan. It's a bit confusing, variously known as Victoria River, Victoria River Crossing, Victoria River Inn, or Victoria River Roadhouse. There's really not much there except a roadhouse. It's 194 kilometers west of Castorn and 282 kilometers east of the Northern Territory and the WA border. For us, it marked the halfway spot between Kununurra and Castorn, although we had a fairly short trip the following day to Castorn. It's located near the west side of Gregory National Park, an outstanding park with mammoth escarpments and towering cliffs. Roadhouse itself is located almost directly on the Victoria River, also on the Victoria Highway, where the river is crossed by the highway. We were there in the dry season, but it's not always so peaceful, as this report of 20 stranded travellers indicated, with the Victoria Bridge being flooded during the monsoon season. Initially travelling from Kununurra, the rest stops were fairly flat. One rest stop had a number of signs about Savannah Way, the route we were taking, telling us about its history. Let's have a look. In 1839, the commander of the Beagle, Captain John Wickham and John Stokes, explored the Victoria River on foot and boat and named the river after Queen Victoria. Later, Augustus Gregory of the North Australian expedition of 1855-56 explored the area, followed by Alexander Forrest with 8 men in 1879. At that point, there was mammoth interest in the area by pastoralists such as the Dirac family, who moved in to take up residence. By the 1870s, over 50,000 square miles of the Northern Territory had been claimed on paper by pastoralists, and by the late 1880s, a large number of families such as the Diracs, Rosewood, Willerloo, Delamere had moved into the area and set up cattle ranches. The next plaque was entitled "What We Want to See." Early reports about the area were highly favorable, such as Gregory's report of the thinly wooded, well-grassed, level land and rich soils. It sounded very appealing to pastoralists and farmers. The Aboriginal people of the area maintained a strong relationship with the land, a reciprocal relationship where if you take care of the country will take care of you. Food didn't seem to be much either, and for the wives of station owners, life was particularly lonely. This plaque describes the life of station hands on the cattle stations. Life sounds pretty long and hard and really boring. Very little entertainment. Food didn't seem to be much either, and for the wives of station owners, life was particularly lonely. The final plaque was entitled "A Fragile Land." We learned that the environment is extremely fragile. The soil is leached heavily of minerals by the monsoon rains during the wet season, and then during the dry season it blows away in the winds. Pastoralists found life hard too, with severe droughts and fires. In the 1950s, cattle began to be shipped by truck, and conditions improved. I guess the most moving statement was this one. This country is remote, rugged, and tough, but it's also dramatic and peaceful. The gorges and billabongs, limestone hills, and sandstone escarpments of this region create a real wilderness. You won't see many people around. Another early view of the Victoria River. Boats were used as part of supplying stations and entering the region. An early 1900 photograph of the Victoria River Aboriginal group. This picture of local shelters constructed by Aboriginals was taken in the early 1900s as well on the Victoria River. The arrival of the pastoralists brought the need for transport, bullock carts, a mule train along the Victoria River. Even with cattle transport by trucks in the 1950s, fording the river was difficult. There's a large Australian military zone north of the Victoria River. They've built a magnificent bridge across with a big gate at the end. We drove across and back. The Victoria River is home to both the freshwater and the saltwater crocodile that thrive in the muddy banks. It is a magnificent river, truly named after Queen Victoria, I guess. My 20-foot caravan with the Ford Falcon station wagon to pull it in the far distance. A local lizard that we spy near the bridge. And a local flower in the same location. Notice the escarpment in the background. Escarpment cliffs are becoming very prominent. We arrive at the Victoria Roadhouse, Victoria River Roadhouse. Not much there, and the caravan parks behind the service station. This raised a smile on everyone's lips. Victoria River Roadhouse is now open under a new wife, rather than new management. We set up camp as the sun is setting. Bill fixes a tire for his bicycle. As you can see, the ground is pretty barren, although the trees are green and do provide shade. My car, looking across the caravan park. Toilets here got the worst vote of the entire trip by my two travellers from Canada, Bill and Sue. Another view of the caravan park. A view from the park at the escarpment. Thanks for joining me on this trip to the Victoria River Roadhouse. I do appreciate your company and wish you a very pleasant day.